Hi there, I'm Meaghan and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make watercolor style bookmarks but using colored pencils. Because I had this thought, why are just about all DIY bookmark videos using watercolor? Don't get me wrong, I love the look of watercolor bookmarks, but how many people out there actually own watercolors? I do, but I think I've only used them once. But colored pencils, now they're a different story. I feel like most people probably have colored pencils somewhere in their house. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 different watercolor style bookmarks that you can make yourself using colored pencils and one other common household item. So for our first design, I'm going to be creating a color gradient with my colored pencils. Now I'm using Prismacolor colored pencils, but this technique should work with just about any colored pencils you have in the house. I'm also using Strathmore 300 Bristol paper, but you could easily use a thicker paper like cardstock, that would be fine. It definitely doesn't have to be fancy artist paper. This is just what I had. For colors, I've picked a turquoise, purple, and blue. I left an uneven border of white along the edges. You don't have to do this, I just like the watercolor effect this gives the final bookmark. Now the main key with this trick is to make sure you have enough colored pencil pigment on the paper. If you don't have enough, the final result is going to look faded and the colors won't be really rich and vibrant. So for this design, I really focused on building up my colors, adding darker colors along the border, and tried to really focus on blending my colors until I was happy with it and thought it was good enough. Now here's where the magic really comes in. I'm going to be using rubbing alcohol to blend and smooth out my colored pencils. Now let's pause this video for a second here. I didn't realize how bad this looked while I was filming. Little brown bottle, shot glass, but I swear it really is rubbing alcohol. That's just how my family stores it. Okay, now that we've got that cleared up, let's continue. If you're anything like me, you may just happen to have a bottle of rubbing alcohol in your first aid kit. But if not, you can also use other household items like baby oil, nail polish remover, paint thinner, that sort of thing. Though, as someone who is sensitive to strong smells, I prefer using the rubbing alcohol since it's a more natural smell and the smell does fade quickly. It's also really cheap. You can pick up a bottle for $1 or so at Walmart or Walgreens. I'll include a link below with the kind I use, and no, it isn't sold in a little brown bottle. Basically all I'm doing is dipping the edge of a Q-tip in the rubbing alcohol and blotting off the excess on a paper towel. Then I just gently rub it across the colored pencil on my paper, and voila, magic. It's important that you do blot off the excess rubbing alcohol though. This helps create an even blend on your paper, and if you need more, you can always redip. I like to use a different tip when switching to another color, just to keep my colors from muddying together though. Over the top of the gradient, I'm going to add a book quote and a simple sketch of an open book. Now, I'm not the best at freehanding words by any means and making them look even. So I actually wrote down my quote on a piece of scrap paper, just so I could figure out the placement of the words and how I wanted them to look first. If you make a mistake though, like I did, you can lightly use an eraser. Just be warned, if you push too hard, it will remove some of the pigment. And to finish it off, I got these really cool metallic gel pens I've been dying to try out. So I'm using metallic silver to trace over my pencil design. I actually went in off camera and added a few more doodles around the words. Also, I just have to say that I love these pens so much. The finished bookmark has such a beautiful shine to it. I don't think the camera actually does it justice. And again, for anyone interested, I've included a link to them below. On to our second bookmark. This one is going to have a simple floral design, but to start, I wanted to create a soft, watercolor, blended looking effect thing. So I used pink to really lightly sketch a cloudy outline, leaving empty white spaces in some places, and separate spots of color like you might find in a splotchy watercolor gradient. Then, like before, I'm going to layer in other colors. In this case, I chose a yellow to go with the pink and used orange and magenta to darken some areas. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. I just wanted to create a cloudy look, so I left pockets of lighter or darker color. But really, just go with your gut. Take it slow and do what you think would look good. I think I'm happy with the way this is looking so far, so again, I'm going to pull out the rubbing alcohol at this point. I started with the lighter pockets of pink and blended it toward the darker areas. When I was ready to switch to blending the yellow, I used the other end of the tip and again blended from the yellow to the darker orange. You may notice that there is still some graininess on your paper, even after blending with the alcohol. Truth is, you're not going to be able to blend all of that out. It's not going to be perfectly smooth like you'd find with a watercolor, but the effect is still similar, vibrant, and smooth. I wasn't quite happy with the yellow after blending, so I ended up going in and coloring in some more areas and then blending them out again. You can do this as many times as you want or need to. Next, I'm penciling in my floral design. The key here is to start with the stem or the branch first, and then add the leaves or the petals to that. Try varying the sizes of the leaves or the flowers to get a little bit of variety in your design. Basically, all I'm doing is doodling here again, filling in any spaces that I think need it. For my design, I wanted to try adding a cherry blossom looking flower, but to be honest, if you're not comfortable with drawing, even a simple 5-petal flower would look beautiful for this design. This time the gel pen I'm using is a metallic coppery color, which I thought would go really well with the pinks and yellowish oranges of the background. After outlining everything, I added a few more details to the leaves and flowers, and then I went a little crazy with the background dots. For the third and last design, we're going to try something a little more complicated. Again, I created a border leaving white around the edges. This time, I left the edges straight and colored in everything in red. Then I layered in other shades of red over the top, making it darker along the edges until I was happy with the results. Then I blended it out again with the rubbing alcohol, going from lighter to darker edges. Now for this bookmark, I wanted to create a pattern of sorts. I love the Middle Eastern style designs, so on a separate piece of paper, I sketched out a pattern for myself. The design I decided to use had 2 distinct shapes that interlocked, so I made it to the size I wanted. You could easily create your own pattern using any shape that you want. For example, a bottle cap to make circles for a bubble-like design, a coin to help make a mermaid scale pattern. Diamonds and triangles could also make a really pretty design, and for anything like that with a straight line, you could actually use masking tape to create the template shape and then cut that out. And then if you're a perfectionist like me and you want your design to be perfectly even, you can use a ruler and lightly draw lines over your bookmark where you want your pattern to line up. I started with the larger of the 2 designs and traced it over my bookmark. Then I came back with the smaller pattern and added that to the middle so it created that interlocked design. And I did that until the pattern was finished. There's no way I could have freehanded this and had it come out looking even. After I was finished, I lightly erased my line. Again, be careful you don't press too hard or you'll remove the colored pencil pigment, which I still did a little bit. Lastly, I traced over my pencil marks with my gold metallic gel pen and added a gold border. And done! Again, the shine on these pens is so gorgeous. The gold especially shows up beautifully with the red background. So here are my finished bookmarks. Let me know in the comments which of the 3 is your favorite. If you found this video helpful, especially if you're one of those people out there who don't own watercolors but want to make your own DIY bookmarks, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more artsy content. And until next time, stay epic, guys.